Today with Ripple, we have a product which is direct remit. It's available online only. Soon it will be available on mobile. You can send a wire transfer from Kuwait to MBK Jordan and it will reach there within seconds. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week without any delay. So that's where we want to go. That's what we anticipate. That's what we want to leverage this technology most. And we hope to expand to greater areas, to new corridors, looking in different countries, not just our network, but also leveraging on our existence in 14 different countries, over 4 continents, and really pushing this product. So I'll hand over to Mohammed, who will be talking more on blockchain and Ripple.
And imagine how annoying it would be if we spend all this time making the insurance industry, for example, work really well and really perfectly. And then as soon as a payment is needed, suddenly everything breaks. And I say, I've paid you, you can't find the money, you think I haven't paid you, we shout at each other, and everything gets complicated again. We need to make sure the interoperability and the connection is so perfect that we never get into disagreement again. And that's why we need to work together as an industry, as a community, to make sure these linkages are tight and correct. So I talked about this in my speech, and I think maybe surprisingly, the point I was making was, I think as an industry, we may have been too ambitious. We've been trying to solve the really hardest problems first. We've been trying to perfectly connect 2 different blockchains to allow assets and information to move perfectly in both directions at the same time. And that is a very good goal. It's an ambitious goal, and it's one that we are working on too. But if we look at what people need today, they actually need something simpler. They just need the ability perhaps to make a payment and know that it has been made correctly. So I think by trying to be too ambitious, we're making it too complicated. So to move more quickly, we should focus on the problems of today. Last year, we released some code. We gave it away for free as open source code. It was called Corda Settler. And that was our demonstration of a simpler way. So we wrote the code and showed people, here is a way to connect Corda to other blockchains. We showed how to connect it to XRP. Now we're working with Swift to show how to connect it to GPI, which is their new payment system for traditional usages. And we showed how to do it in a very simple way. And I think these step-by-step situations, these step-by-step paths that are done openly, collaboratively, and with open source, we think that's the key to moving forward.
We use technology to freeze and release assets and move them across the chain. So that's one good example that's been going on with the central banks. Another one is actually with my good friend from Ripple. So we built an interoperability tool called the Corda Settler. It allows people to do business on Corda, create financial obligations on Corda. So on Corda, there is a record that says I owe you $200, and then reach out to other networks and settle on other networks. So the one that we built, it's an open source piece of code. It's a pattern that people can just download and tweak, but it connected to Ripple's testnet and it moved XRPs from one account to another one. And then based on when the XRP kind of settled, landed in the beneficiary's account, it came back to Corda and said that obligation is now being paid. So there's different types of interoperability depending on what you're trying to achieve, but a couple of examples there.
I think just to at a very macro level, I think if anyone believes that there will be one blockchain that will rule the world or one payment system that will rule the world, I think he or she is living in a fool's paradise. I think the need of the hour is that going forward there will be different blockchains, different payment networks, and it's really the how you connect those networks, how you connect those ledgers, those blockchains, using an interoperable protocol that really would be the future 5 years from now.
Same things happened with cryptocurrency. There's some people that just want to ban it outright, some people that think it's great, but there's enough people undecided that crypto made it out of the crib in the US. Not all crypto, but a company like Coinbase or Ripple, the first is which I invested, the second where I was the chief risk officer, showed that they could be compliant enough to not get shut down right out of the box. And so it's finding that balance between being disruptive, but not too disruptive.
So Ripple's meant to be a replacement for Swift and the messaging system those banks use, and other things like ACH they use to settle transactions. XRP is meant to be a digital way to move value, to move digital money, if you will. And it's really focused on that. So there are other cryptocurrencies, Ether is an example of something that can do all kinds of stuff, including move value. But there was, some people in the industry look at that and say, well, why is Ether so slow to close a transaction? Well, maybe because it's trying to do too much, or just trying to do so much, or it can do so much. XRP is purely focused on value. It can do, Visa-like 1,500 transactions per second, and is really equipped to do things in a digital network that, as I described at the beginning of our talk, we don't have digital value right now. When you send someone a Venmo payment, they don't actually get the money for like 3 to 5 days. They might credit an account, but there's risk being taken by the company there, and that's why the fees are so high. When you use XRP, when one of our customers uses XRP to move money from Thailand to Spain, it happens in less than a minute or two, and it's very accurate and quick to do so, and it wouldn't be possible without that technology. We've seen customers show us product that they're doing developed on us, saying they'll let their customer go onto their iPhone or Samsung phone or whatever and say, I want to move this amount of money. You can move it right now using Ripple for this cost, or you can move it in 4 days for that cost. The only thing is, for us, it's so much, for using Ripple, it's so much cheaper that the app was, we want them to do that to make us look, to show how great our service is. But I don't know if they'll really have banks. Right now, all of our customers are still doing both. They're still using Swift and they're using Ripple's products. So, I don't know, I think that's true, actually. I don't know if anyone's 100% on us. But I would expect we will have customers that are only using Ripple's products, and some people like the way the world is, and they'll probably.
Yeah. And actually, that is also looking into the cross-border payments.
Yes.
However, in the project that we have with Ripple, we don't, as a central bank, we don't implement any technology. It's banks, commercial bank, who are implementing the technology.
Yes.
However, we choose to start this project as an approach we used in SAMA. We call it central bank-led innovation.
Yes.
And that is how we started some innovative initiatives from SAMA itself as a central, and encourage the banks to use the innovative technologies and the new technologies. And we choose Ripple at that time because they have a very focused use case.
Yes.
So it is not related to the technology, it's more related to the use case itself and the focus of the company in the cross-border payments. And because, as you mentioned before, that we are the outgoing remittance is very high in Saudi. So we started the program. So SAMA was leading the program. We were steering it. Also, we do the training for all the banks on deep dive training on the blockchain and Ripple technology. And the bank themselves, they started the implementation of the technology based on different use cases that were discussed in the program. And the bank started using actually the technology on production. In the last few months, we had one bank went live on production using Ripple X Current. Another bank is going very soon, and we have 2 more banks going also in this first quarter of 2019.